Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Excited to have our first guest, man. We don't really get legit rock stars in here. From the Counting Crows, Adam Duritz. What's up, man?
How you doing?
What's up? So you're going back on tour. You're on tour with the Wallflowers.
Yeah, they're gonna open for us for for about 5 weeks this summer.
You have been sort of working with these guys on and off for almost 20 years, right? You did background vocals. Well, you've known them. You did background vocals on a couple of tunes for them back in the 90s, right?
I met Jake when I was bartending at the Viper Room, like 96.
Johnny
95.
Depp's Viper Room in L.A.
I was bartending there.
You were bartending there still.
After our first record.
Now, have you met Dylan a lot? His father? Have you met
Jake or Bob?
Bob.
Nope.
You never met him.
Opened for Bob before Jake opened for us, but I've still never met him.
Even opening for him, you never meet the guy.
I didn't really want to go try and talk to him.
Yeah.
Was it a situation where, I'm assuming he's a big influence of yours, obviously. I mean, not really.
Everybody's. Yeah, I mean, I think you can't really write songs without having been influenced by Dylan.
But was it a situation where you think maybe you'd be disappointed if you met him, if he was a jerk off or something? you just didn't want to like bother.
I'm a big music fan.
Right.
That doesn't mean I need to hang out with everybody. You know?
I get it. No, I mean,
I don't know why everybody always wants to go hang out with everybody, because listen, those records are great. They told me I couldn't swear. Don't screw them up for yourself. I had to stop myself there.
Right,
you know?
I get what you're saying. Like if the lyrics mean something to you, and then you start getting into a conversation with the guy who wrote them, because Dylan is a guy who, every time you hear him, when he was trying to live in Woodstock by himself, people would come to his house or his farm and say you're a god, blah blah blah, and he hated it. He hated it more than anybody else, it seemed. So he is a guy that it probably would have been a disappointing conversation.
Well, also it's like it is not his responsibility to entertain me, like worshiping at his feet. I would be annoyed too.
Do you see that going on a lot with you, with fans of yours?
I left the Bay Area because there were people camped out on my lawn.
Oh man,
which I found disruptive.
But then where do you go? Where do you go? Where do you solve that problem? L.A., where it's
I went to the Viper Room.
People are more jaded, you think? They don't care as much about celebrity, or?
Well, I think there's enough other people to be concerned about that I was not an issue. Whereas at Berkeley, it was a big deal. It was a little crazy.
But that was your hometown.
I never thought I'd leave there ever, but I could not stay there.
It physically was impossible.
I remember. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I was trying to express.
John was probably one of the people on your lawn.
I would have been, yeah. No, I was trying to express that when we were talking before we came on. When I was in Berkeley, I lived in Berkeley after I got done with college. And I just feel like there was an omnipresence. Adam Duritz was here. Oh,
God, he's really
the Counting Crows in town at the,
how annoying is that?
It was here.
Raiders were welcome on our lawn.
Okay, you were a Raider.
I didn't know that. I would have taken full advantage. But I can definitely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
So Jack Tatum would be welcome at your house?
Yeah, man.
The
assassin.
I got my Howie jersey up on the wall.
Oh, you did?
Absolutely.
So you're a big sports fan? Or is it just football?
No, I like lots of stuff.
Yeah.
You like the A's, too?
Yeah, you're an A's fan?
Yeah, I'm an A's guy.
Yeah.
They're
doing great, man.
Childhood. My dad was a Philadelphia A's fan growing up.
Oh, no kidding.
So we got out to California, and he was just thrilled.
That's going way back. Well, what brought your family out to California?
My dad had been in the Army down in Texas, and then he just got out, so went to practice out there.
Right. Now, when did you start getting influenced by music? I mean, so your father was an Army guy, and maybe not the most supportive of
No, he's in. My dad took me to the rodeo. My first concert was Jackson 5 at a rodeo.
Really?
Like in '69.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, no.
Where was the rodeo?
Texas.
Wow.
El Paso or Houston.
Yeah. And so now, what groups were really like the kind of stuff that you loved, that really influenced you?
Well, growing up in Oakland, it's a lot of funk and, later hip hop, but everything. I mean, I listen to a lot. The radio stations were pretty great out there. K-Sam would play all different kinds of music on one station. Country followed by punk, followed by, rock, roll, jazz, hip hop. Well, hip hop later, but yeah, it was like, just played everything.
No kidding. I mean, that's odd see, a lot of radio stations, once I got sort of into the business of radio, they'll tell you, a lot of program directors will say, you can't do that because if you play hip hop, it's going to aggravate the rock fans and they'll go away and you're not going to get any hip hop fans there away from their hip hop station. So why bother? But that seems to be the one part of the country where you could get away with that.
It's eclectic enough out there. People
K-Sam played
respect
everything.
it.
And this is before hip hop really came along, but they played everything.
Right.
You know, and then there's other stations to play. You know, hip hop came along. It was Oakland, so you know it's not like you weren't listening to stuff.
What did it feel like the first time you sort of you sort of connect with a crowd, and you know you're a fan of music, and you get a big hit, and you know I noticed from comedy like the feeling you get from, okay, I'm connecting with an audience, they understand me a little bit, and that's got to be the best feeling ever, because even though I've had some success with comedy, I think everybody's a frustrated rock star, you know.
Well, comedy's really different. Like that's perilous. That's perilous. I mean,
well,
like you need the audience to come together. You know,
right.
like because in rock and roll you can play as long as the band's doing well. It's fine either way. My friends that do comedy, I think that's some perilous stuff.
Yeah, if it's going right.
This not cursing thing is really holding me back right now.
Dude, you have no idea.
I'm doing a lot of thinking. They told me on the walk in here, I was like, man, that must be tough on those guys.
No, you have no idea.
The old neighborhood, you know.
Yeah. No, I know. I was, again, I worked on Howard for 8.5 years. The first 4 years we were on regular radio, and then we got to Sirius, and it was like...
It's great now.
Nuts, yeah. And so now it's like going from 80 miles an hour to 20. But
I gotta stop. I gotta keep thinking every couple of seconds. That's some perilous shit.
I know.
Stuff.
We screw up at least between us and the guest 5 times a night, so don't worry about it. We have a 40-second delay, which I think is a record. I don't know if I should take that as a badge of honor. We have a 40-second delay.
So it's really not a big deal.
Like last night's show is airing right now. That's fine. That's fine.
40 seconds. Take your time. I'll have another one ready for you in a few minutes. The girls didn't tell me I had 40 seconds.
Yeah, I know. They forget a lot of stuff.
Beep it.
They tend to forget.
That is some perilous. I want to say comedy is some perilous shit.
It is actually. But you know, a lot of people tend to go safe with it, and I hate that. We were just talking about Richard Pryor. You know, when you go watching the old stuff, Johnny Carson. So like this documentary I just saw about Richard Pryor. He's on Johnny Carson, and Johnny Carson's like saying the N-word, and you know, it's like Dinah Shore saying it in a Southern accent. It's like it's so different about how, in a weird way, people have become more uptight. Don't you think? I mean. It's odd.
Which isn't the worst thing in the world.
No,
because they become less horrifically offensive too. No, that's not really true. People are still offensive. So.
They are. I mean, but in a way, it's in a more insulting way. Like in other words, the N-word. I forget who made this point. It's so right. It might have been Rock. It might have been Chris Rock. You're just giving a racist another way to say it. Like the N-word's an out. It's like, you know, okay, I won't say it that way. I'll say it this way then. You know.
I was wondering how you're going to get by. I mean, I knew the records you were talking about. I'm like, what's he going to do when he has to say bison? Oh, yeah, I see. He's going to go the bicentennial N-word.
But you know what's funny? It doesn't even matter. Here's the problem, Adam. It doesn't even matter the context. Like, I could say to everyone here, listen, I'm about to say this word because I have to get a point across. So I could say bicentennial N-word. And if I say the whole word, even after explaining it, they'll just cut it out. And you know, but most people are hypocrites. The people cutting it out, most of them don't care. They don't want to get sued or whatever.
Yes, they do not want to get sued.
Yeah.
I don't want to get sued.
Pains in the ass.
You don't want to get sued.
You're not going to get sued.
I'm not going to get sued.
A lawsuit might be some good publicity. Who knows? We might sell some records. I'm putting out an album myself. So you don't have a new
you
album.
You want to all get together and say "fuck" a few times? I mean, I'm here for you, really.
Listen, honestly, I don't think any of this first half hour is going to air at this point. Do you have a new album out as well?
No, we're going to make one after the summer.
Oh, cool. You think about doing a live record ever?
No, we did. We've done like 8 of them.
No, but I mean for this, though. Like this
show.
This tour, yeah.
This show. Oh, we just did one of the last tour.
You going to do another one? Do you like doing that better?
We record every show, so it's like we can always put it together.
Every single show is recorded.
From the beginning, we've recorded everything. So we can always do them. They're easy to do. We like putting them out. If they're good, if we find something that's good enough, we'll just put it out.
That's cool.
I'm out.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, come back with more about Duritz after this.